following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
And welcome into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, Justin Kulik on the controls. What's going on out there? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I know I am because, just looking at tornadoes, such a great day.
Hope everybody's safe out there, seriously. I don't know if anything's going to happen or not, but if it doesn't, we're missing a great opportunity.
The worst part about having strong winds right now is that the leaves are already falling, so now it's just helping out. And my deck is covered with yellow leaves, and I do not have a leaf blower yet. I will have one ASAP. Of course, after it rains and they get all wet, I'm not sure how much help a leaf blower is going to be. That's going to be the problem.
One of the chores that I hated most in life was raking leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really saw the purpose in it. And I still don't.
They're biodegradable.
So, but now I don't.
Yeah, you don't have to.
It's one of those things that when I grow up, I'm fill in the blank. Well, I ain't raking no leaves.
That's no doubt.
Yeah.
I ain't raking no leaves either. And I'll take the leaf blower out there and get them off the deck just to keep it from rotting the wood. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the only thing I'm going to do.
We'll blow them off the sidewalk to try to keep from tracking them into the house. But other than that, if they're in the yard,
they can stay there.
They can stay in the yard. sort of like spiders and other such, out there is yours.
Yeah, you can have
that. Ain't gonna bother you out there.
No one's worried about you out there.
Out there. In here, we got problems.
Yeah, no, we're not coming in here. We have a great show for you lined up. We've got a lot of great things to talk about. Of course, can't not talk about the Titans news today. So we'll get to that, of course. We'll talk to Chip Walters as we do each and every Tuesday. Chip, we'll talk some MTSU as you see the white helmet there. It's going to be a fun time as they get ready for their trip to El Paso. It's a long way.
It is a long way.
We'll see how that's going to go. We'll talk a little bit of college football. Game day is headed to Jackson State, not Jacksonville State, unfortunately. That'd be really cool. But headed to Jackson State.
Not Jacksonville State, not Jacksonville University.
Neither.
Jackson
State. Just Jackson. No Vills.
Yeah.
No Vols, no Vills. But we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about Will Healy, former Austin Peay coach, who is
now former Charlotte
coach.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk a little bit about that and what that means. And, of course, it's Top 5 Tuesday, and we'll get you our top 5 greasy foods right here on National Greasy Food Day. How about that?
I'm having to kind of read up on this because I'm not –
well,
there are things that I wouldn't necessarily think of as greasy foods that are in fact.
I had 2 options. I was going to go either – like scary movies.
You made the right choice.
Right. I mean, we do a lot of movies and TV on this show, but we do end up typically back at food or sports. And today is also National Chucky Doll Day. I don't know why today. I guess today might have been his birthday or something. I have no idea. But yeah, so we went with the greasy foods, and I think it's going to be a good top 5 because I'm really curious to see how this goes. Lots to get to today, and we'll do that. Why don't we start right now and give you yesterday's very few results, today's very small schedule on today's very small rundown.
Here's the rundown.
Justin, we can't hear the music.
That's okay. There we go. In NBA action on Monday night, the Memphis Grizzlies, in a record-setting performance, knocked off the Brooklyn Nets 134-124. I think they said it's the first time that two players from each team have scored 35-plus points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Desmond Bain and Ja went off for Memphis, and Kyrie and KD for the Nets. So interesting. In the NFL action on Monday night, today I learned the Chicago Bears defeated the New England Patriots 33-14. I did not watch, but I saw that your boy Bailey
Zappe hour
came in for Mac Jones at some point. So
yeah, after the third drive when Mac went 3 and out, threw a pick. Zappe came in, threw 2 touchdowns, and then the Bears ran away with it.
So Mac Jones was not very zappy last night.
No, he was not.
Okay.
Today's schedule, really short. Mavericks are at the Pelicans tonight. That's on TNT at 6:30. It's a doubleheader for TNT, as the Warriors and Suns will play the second game of that at 9 o'clock tip-off. And then in the NHL on ESPN, you can see the Golden Knights at the San Jose Sharks at 9:30. And that's it for today's rundown. We have today's top story comes from right here in southern Middle Tennessee, as we have 2 pretty significant spring sport commitments.
Well, I guess we got 3. 2 commitments and 1 recommitment, as you pointed out to me.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we've got 2 of them. We've got stories on 2 of them up on the website at mainstreetmurray.com. Last Friday, Summertown sophomore pitcher infielder Grayson Burleson announced that he will sign with Vanderbilt as part of its 2025 recruiting class. Grayson, a 6'4", 200-pound sophomore.
6'4", man.
As a sophomore. Goodness gracious. Yeah. So committed to become a Vandy boy. Hashtag Vandy boy.
You know, I'm curious to see what he looks like on the basketball court this year at 6'4", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying.
He's going to look a little different.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
And then earlier today, Columbia Central outfielder Savia Morgan announced that she will be making her way to Rocky Top once her final 2 years of softball eligibility are completed. So
pretty good. It's a pretty good day down here. And you know, Tennessee winning out in that softball sweepstakes, because let's face it, I mean, Savia Morgan is one of the top juniors in the country, and you know, for her to pick Tennessee over the likes of Michigan, Michigan State, and Memphis and others, it's a big win. She
had offers from Purdue and Memphis. Michigan State had not offered yet, but they had been deep in conversations. I think Florida State may have been in the mix a little bit, just had not offered yet. But once she made her visit to Knoxville, she was sold.
Well, that's what I like.
That's understandable.
Absolutely. Karen Weekly runs a great program over there, and we're excited to see her there, and hopefully we'll see her back in Columbia at least 4 times. It'd be nice to see her.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'm just gonna say we've got some talented kids down here in Southern Middle Tennessee.
No question. And as I mentioned, there's a third one who I've not been able to reach out to yet, but you sent me a tweet at some point over the weekend, I guess. Independence infielder Ryan Brown, who had been committed to Missouri, staying in the SEC, I guess.
That's right.
She has decommitted from Missouri and will be a Longhorn.
Listen, if you're Texas, man.
I mean, if you're going to go,
that's program.
Yeah.
I mean, that is perennial College World Series level program. And
everything's bigger in Texas, right?
It blows my mind. I mean, you know, we've been watching Ryan for 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
really, really watching her. And when we found out that she played her travel ball in Kansas City,
Right.
thought that was unique.
Mm-hmm.
So staying out that way doesn't really surprise me, but also the fact that she will be playing at least in the SEC, maybe 2 years as an upperclassman.
Yeah, she's a senior this time, right? So
senior this time around, and so
yeah, maybe her final 2 years.
Yeah, probably her junior year and senior is barring any redshirting.
Mm-hmm.
She would play her final 2 years in the SEC, which means that she'll be in this area quite a bit. I think that's pretty awesome, man. The fact that we've got kids going to Tennessee, Texas, Vanderbilt.
Like you said, there's a lot of talent down here and a lot of high level talent, and it's fun. I mean, one of the reasons we enjoy covering high schools, talking about high schools so much, is because you have the opportunity to see some kids that you're going to see perform at the next level and perform at a high level.
Yeah, we were just talking about Brandon Miller, who's a second team All SEC selection. We saw him last year. We saw East Nashville's basketball team was full of of great players who will play at some level.
Yeah, we didn't get to see Ensworth's Jelani Cambridge, but
we probably will.
Number one player in the country in her class. I mean,
I'll find a way to get to an Ensworth basketball game. I can guarantee you.
There you go, and you should too.
Yes, absolutely, you should.
So yeah, it's and not to speak to my age necessarily, but it hasn't always been this way. Not the depth. I mean, there's been talent in this area, but not to the extent, not the volume that there is now. I mean, I used to do a listing of the top football players in the area for another publication in the preseason, and it was we would highlight 12 top recruits, and maybe half of those guys would be going FCS. Now, when you're putting that list together,
you're having
of 12, you're leaving guys off that are going Power 5.
Yeah, you're culling off Power 5 kids. That's what's so crazy about it.
Yeah.
I love to see it. And where I came from in the Birmingham metro area, of course, I got to see Hoover. They were in Trussville's region. So I was lucky enough to watch Hoover and Thompson and Clay Chalkville and all of those teams, that Pinson Valley where Bo Nix played and that sort of thing. I got a chance to see a lot of those kids.
And Zach
Cunningham. Mm-hmm. But it just I see a lot of similarities that in Birmingham Tennessee football was so far beneath what, or at least we thought Tennessee football, high school football can't touch Alabama, and now it's as good, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to see it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm here now. So I don't want to watch bad football if I can help it.
Yeah. And for the most part, you don't have to.
And or baseball and softball. Now baseball's always been really good, especially in this area.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to seeing those kids play.
And congratulations to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Had a chance to talk a little bit to Grayson, and he acknowledged, the bullseye that kind of emerges when you become Vanderbilt commitment Grayson Burleson.
Yeah, that's right. Especially at the Class A level.
Yeah, because everybody knows who you are.
They know who you are. They've been watching you, and they want to get a hit off the Vandy commit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they do. Yeah, or they want to throw out the Tennessee commit when she's trying to steal too.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Have fun.
That's like the 90 of 91 that Bo Jackson stole in high school, and Jeff Pearlman found the guy who threw him out. That book's coming out this week.
It came out today.
It came out today. That's right.
Yeah.
It sure did. So we might need to hit Jeff up and say what's up.
I'll let you do that. I hit him up and he stiff armed me. So.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll get him. Matter of fact, next when is Halloween? Monday. He's going to be in Homewood. I might go down there and get him to sign a book.
There you go.
So, all right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, the Titans released the renderings of their proposed stadium. So around after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Mo Patton coming to you as we are watching the weather in studio here to make sure that we're not going to have to find a safe space.
Duck and cover.
Yeah. But keeping it as best we can, keeping ourselves safe, which is, very important. We love you guys, but we'd like to be here tomorrow too. So there's that. Mo, it was kind of out of nowhere today when I was perusing Twitter and saw the Titans throw up a press release and they have released some renderings of their proposed stadium on the East Bank. And as you take a look there, the inside of this stadium, this is phenomenal.
Kind of SoFi-ish.
It is very, and I think that's the goal, to be sort of SoFi style. I love the glass roof. I think it's important to be able to use, a glass see-through roof when if you're going to have a roof, you need to be able to see outside.
Well, especially in this area, I think, because the weather is typically nice.
And, you see behind under where it says Tennessee, those are garage doors that they'll actually be able to open, which I think is really cool. And then behind that, you'll have like it's like an overlook and where you can kind of walk outside, walk inside, kind of. It's more experience driven than maybe, the game is obviously the most important part, but if you are there, you can experience more than just the football game. You can.
Well, and what that speaks to, I think, is the type of events that they hope to draw there aren't always going to be
Football.
right. And they're not always going to be local attendees. And so, your more touristy types or some of the higher profile events may not lend themselves to 100% what's going on the field, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be if it's a concert, that makes sense. I want to be able to kind of, enjoy walking around it. But you go to minor league baseball stadiums and, they've got those outlying areas with the cornhole and the bouncy houses and all the things that go along with that. And I think it's important, to include those options for when you do have events that aren't necessarily sporting events that have constant action going on there on the field. And, but the inside of the stadium, you've got the LED board going around the top. You've got the dual. I love the Josh Norman stiff arm there on the board. That's hilarious.
Poor Josh Norman.
Just taking strays in this. But
he's going to be a legend in Nashville for all the wrong reasons.
Yes, he will. If he ever becomes a Titan, we'll have to scrub that from the internet.
Derrick Henry said, "No, you won't."
No, but 60,000 people. I think to me, this looks like if this is 60,000 seats, that's a lot. That's a lot of seats. And I love that the lower bowl is huge and the upper deck is not.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Now that you mention it, because more people have the ability to be closer to the field.
Yeah, I'm all for that. The outside of it, Justin, if you want to, check this out. That, the nighttime view, the Nashville Field House. That's maybe the club area, like the Delta Sky Club that we were in at Mercedes-Benz. I feel like that's something that you'll have, and it just everything about this. Or nothing about this screams sports stadium from this view.
Right. Yeah. It looks more like a convention center from there.
And how about the glass all the way around? I'm just saying. It's a Middle Tennessee thing.
There's only one glass house.
I understand that. But the fact that they put the glass up, and I wonder if it'll be the transitioning glass like they have.
You would think.
Murphy Center.
Yeah.
But again, being able to see inside and outside is just super cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. I think it's awesome. Getting a look at it this way, do you think that's going to change some of the negative?
Nope. I think that the negative has nothing to do with any structural nuances. I think the negative is the fact that the money is being spent on the structure, period.
What do you think about go back to that last slide, and I think it's on the same. Okay. The TV out on the outside, kind of like at Truist Park where they have the little grassy area at the Battery where you can watch the game if you're not inside the park. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So it could be a way for, again, when you are gathered there on this grassy area right here to watch the ball game, you're still buying drinks and you're still buying
You're just
food.
not inside, buying tickets.
And I think all of that money is going to still be going back into this project. And I think that's important. You can go to the other slide now, because I did want to see this. This is that overlook there that I was talking about. And, I think, and I don't really understand where this is, particularly this street here. But it appears like there is a way to include fans outside the stadium, like we were just saying, but like maybe a tailgate type area. This kind of looks like what's right outside of Neyland Stadium.
You know,
shut that street down.
I've not been to Neyland in so long that I'm
yeah.
I have no point of reference as far as that goes.
Where the Sky Bridge is, they shut that street down, and then there's just a bunch of people just walking up and down the street. And it's you've got street vendors and you've got all these things going on, and there's just people everywhere. And I think that's cool. And of course, you've got the view of the skyline. To me,
it's impressive.
It's really, I love Nissan Stadium's identity with you see right up here behind Tennessee, they still kind of have that steel crossbars type thing that Nissan's lights are held up with.
Right. That's
unique to Nissan Stadium, and I like that. But this is going to make things so much better. I mean, from not having to worry about concerts being rained out and postponed, and because listen, when people travel here, and they made travel plans for that Garth Brooks concert, let's say, they travel from all over the country to come to Nashville for that concert. Then it got postponed.
Yeah,
and then
it's unfortunate when that kind of thing happens, and obviously you can't control the weather, but if you can make the weather not a factor, then that helps. So
this is going to be a major positive for the city.
It's a game changer
in so many different ways. So let's hope the Sports Council agrees, and hopefully the funding sources stay the same. If they do, it's a win-win for everybody. If they don't, then I can come back and say, I was wrong. You were right. And too late. Anyway, we still got to pay for it because it's here now.
Yeah.
So. But I fully expect to see this hosting Final Fours, college football playoff championship games, and the Super Bowl. No questions asked. As Teresa Walker said, the only thing that was holding them back was a roof.
Yeah.
And the Blue Cross championships, if at all possible, please and thank you.
I think that's got to that has to be. I mean, I think the one thing that kept it from being at Nissan Stadium was 9 games, 3 days, natural grass.
Natural grass. You know, there's a lot of folks who are saying that you can have natural grass if you have the roof, the glass roof. I don't think they're going to have natural grass. I think there are some things out there that are both synthetic and natural, like fused, and hopefully whatever they use will be something that can hold up over 3 days, 9 games. I mean, look, Alabama plays 6 and 7 in 3 days on natural grass. And is it a problem? Yes, but it's also the last game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else being played there
after that.
Right.
So you can strip it, resod it and be done.
Yep.
And that's the difference. Here, the Titans may be playing there the next Sunday.
Yeah.
And boy, could you imagine if the NFL just said, we don't care what you've got going on Thursday through Saturday, you're playing on Sunday here?
Well, you can certainly see the National Football League.
They don't care
doing that because they don't care. Yeah. So
why would they? So anyway, oh no, you got Thursday Night Football this week. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
I love it. It looks great. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Oh man. Well,
it's getting awfully windy out there.
It is getting awfully windy out there, and I can see the orange and yellow leaves flying off the tree, probably caked onto my car at this point. Hey, real quick, before we get into segment 3, wanted to mention this in the top story segment, but I didn't get to it. Couple of couple things, teams and schools moving divisions. As announced yesterday, Lipscomb Academy will be going to Division II AAA, and that's great for their football team.
Well, and
what about the rest of them?
No, this is a football only move.
Football only move.
You can move up by, football is a separate entity from boys and girls basketball, baseball, and softball, which is a separate entity from a few other sports.
Also in D2 though. Is it that way in D2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Lipscomb, which reported an enrollment number of 479 for classification period purposes for the 2023-24 and 24-25 school years, that would have made them the fourth largest Division II AA school. I'm reading from an article on Main Street Preps by Russell Venozzi. But they, schools had until yesterday to indicate if they wanted to move up by sport, and Lipscomb is doing so. So they are going up to D2 AAA, like you said, which is where, Brentwood Academy, Ensworth, Father Ryan, MBA locally. And did I say Ensworth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they'll be up with the big boys. Meanwhile, apparently Pope Prep, which has been playing D2 AAA, their enrollment figures dropped to the point that they could play D2 AA, and apparently that's what they're going to do. So basically they're just swapping.
Okay. Well, you put Pope Prep in there now with CPA and that bunch, and I think
that's
Davidson Academy's in there. And
yeah, so I think that's going to be interesting, and I think that's something that kind of bears watching as well, because with Justin Geisinger leaving them over the past offseason, taking over the program at Franklin Road Academy now,
which is also in that D2 AA region.
And John Sneed has done a pretty good job with Pope Prep in D2 AAA this fall. Now, obviously, Kenny Minchie, the Pitt commit, hasn't played in the last little bit, but he's going to be leaving. They're going to be losing some folks, but I think it'll bear watching, Pope Prep in that classification for football.
I don't think there's any question Pope Prep will certainly be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Also yesterday, region cross country in
kind of snuck up on us, unfortunately. But yeah, region cross country meets took place yesterday across Middle Tennessee, and I don't have a lot of details, but I can tell you that Spring Hills boys won the Region 6A AA meet. Spring Hill, which did not have cross country last fall.
Right. That's the crazy part to me.
Yes. Spring Hills boys won the team title, and Spring Hills Emily Raw won the girls individual championship. So congrats to her. Spring Hills Kyle Nielsen finished third individually on the boys side. Matthew Gregory was fifth. Kevin Caraballo was sixth. So they had three guys in the top 10, which will
certainly help you
put you in a good shot, in a good position to win it. Yeah. So again, kudos to the Raiders there. Hang on. But wait, there's more, because in Region 6 AAA, Independence's boys and girls both advanced to the state as a team. Independence's boys finished second behind Brentwood. The girls finished third behind Brentwood and Nolensville. Let's see. Neither of them had an individual champion, because I think Brentwood's boys swept the top 4 places individually.
Will also put you in a good spot to win the darn thing.
And
it'd be almost impossible not to win it if you have the top 4.
yeah. And
So
Nolensville's
Halterman?
Claire Stegall won the girls individual championship. So what are you saying?
No Halterman?
Joanna Halterman finished 13th, but she was on the second place team.
No, I was just curious if who won the girls.
Oh no,
would have been-
Joanna finished 13th.
There you go.
So, and then in D2A, Columbia Academy's boys finished 4th, but CJ Barr and Josh Lofton were both among the top 5 times that weren't on one of the 3 winning teams, so they will still advance. And then Columbia Academy's girls placed 3rd, so they'll advance as a team. So we'll have more on this on Main Street Murray later this week as we get ready for the state cross country meet next Thursday and Friday
At Hendersonville?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, college football talk. Texas A&M. Are you high on the Aggies? Because, oh, wait, no. The Aggies are just high. Got it. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media's social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mo, former Austin Peay coach Will Healy, 15-24 in his time at Charlotte, was not good enough for the 49ers as they said adios to Coach Healy over the weekend. And, we talked about this, that Will Healy was a pretty hot commodity after the 2019 season and even 2020 because it was a COVID year. But as I'm looking at his head coaching record, if he thought he could do better than Charlotte, he should have done better at some point. He's only had 2 winning seasons in his career. He went 8-4 one year in 2017 at Austin Peay and went 7-6, losing the Bahamas Bowl in 2019, and that was it. Those are his 2 winning seasons.
And I think he was really a hot commodity, coming off of that turnaround at Austin Peay, because Austin Peay had been awful.
Well, they were 0-11 in his first year.
Mm-hmm. And after winning Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year honors in 2017, that's when he, I guess he coached one more year at Austin Peay before he went to Charlotte after the 18 season. But, I wonder, if Charlotte might have been a little quick in this move. But the bigger thing, I think, is like you said, if he felt like he had an opportunity to make a move, he probably should have made a move because, I mean, I've said it more than once. You can stay too long.
Well, I don't know how quick. I don't know if they were quick or not, but Charlotte was the first loss by an FBS team to FIU in about 2 years, and they got absolutely hammered 34-15. After that, you kind of go, where are we at?
Yeah.
Where are we at as a program?
And that was his third straight losing season, I guess. So,
I mean, lost to Florida Atlantic to open the year. William and Mary, 41-24. They just weren't competitive in almost any of these games. I mean, they beat Georgia State 42-41, which, by the way, is actually pretty impressive. The fact that that's the game they won on the road. And, semi-competitive against UTEP at home, 41-35 loss, but that's it. I mean, it doesn't get any easier either because Rice, Western Kentucky, and Middle Tennessee State are pretty darn good. And then La Tech to finish the year, they're likely going to end up 1-10. Now, if they'd have stuck with him, he typically does pretty good after he has a year like that. The next year is usually pretty good.
I'm trying to find some of the jobs that he might have been connected with. I know that there was talk about him at Vanderbilt after Derek Mason left.
There was
before they brought in Clark Lee, obviously.
Will Healy was mentioned, and a lot of folks were high on him because of what he did at Austin Peay. And again, Charlotte's a pretty easy place to recruit to as well. It's Charlotte, Nashville, very similar style cities, but only one of them plays in the SEC.
It'll be interesting to see where he winds up next.
Yeah.
And it may not be a head coaching gig.
No, probably not. He'll probably end up being an offensive coordinator and a pretty good one in his career. Did a great job at UTC. He was a quarterback at Richmond under Dave Clawson, who we've seen do some great things as an offensive coordinator. So he knows what it takes. I think it's that's the kind of guy who can change a point. He really is. And whoever ends up with him will be in a good spot.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's really energetic. And I think that kind of rubs off a little bit. It's kind of contagious. I think that's one of the that was one of the hallmarks of his rise, I think, what he got done at Austin Peay and continued to do early on over at Charlotte. So
absolutely. Other news in college football, Texas A&M suspends several true freshmen for allegedly smoking weed in the locker room. I mean, hey, go big or go home, I guess.
Is that your classic loss of institutional control?
I mean, that is, if that's not, I don't know what is.
Goodness gracious. That's pretty brazen.
I mean, Mark Richt has lost control of the Texas A&M program
apparently
at this point.
Smoking in the locker room, not the boys' room, in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, what? I don't really know.
That's wild.
Yeah, I don't really know. Apparently, there's 3 football players indefinitely suspended. Billy Liucci, who we had on last year to talk a little Texas A&M, tweeted, "When it rains, it pours." And things are not going good for the Aggies. 3-4 after starting the year ranked 6th in the AP poll. And now it looks like offensive lineman Brian Foster, Aki Ogunbayi, Jordan Spasojevic-Moko. I don't know. They're going to miss the season for injury. Haynes King injured last week. Apparently, looks like Haynes is going to play. But obviously, Anai Smith suffered the season-ending leg injury in September. Max Johnson's out with an injury. And now Denver Harris, Chris Marshall, and PJ Williams are now suspended indefinitely.
Now, were any of those guys, you said they were true freshmen, all of them?
They were all part of that highly touted 2022 signing class.
Were they getting on the field?
Honestly, I don't know. One of them, Denver Harris, was a defensive back. Chris Marshall had 11 catches for 108 yards. Don't know who that was against. Could have been somebody, 3 catches for 40 against Alabama and 4 for 27 against Mississippi State. So, yeah, I feel like he was getting on the field. Now, I don't know about PJ Williams or Denver Harris, but these are guys that Texas A&M had in that very highly touted recruiting class. And now what is the state of the Texas A&M program?
It's a good question. And I don't have an answer for you, but it can't be good.
As my friend Matt Mitchell said over the weekend in his roll call, he said, if Texas A&M goes to the Birmingham Bowl, they should just tell them they're with the World Games because they'd throw about half of the buyout money at them. So I'm just saying $90-something million may be well worth it at this point.
Somebody out there is thinking that. Somebody that has access to that type money is thinking, at some point you just got to cut the cord.
At what point, if you're Jimbo Fisher, does not necessarily self-preservation, but do you feel like if you quit, then there's no pride in that at all? Or would you rather just go out there and go 2-9 every year?
I think college football head coaches probably are some of the most egotistical people you're ever going to come across. And so hope springs eternal. I can fix this.
Okay.
No matter how bad it is, I can fix it. We're only one game away from getting this thing turned around. I think that's the mentality. Has to be the mentality because that's what you got to be telling your kids, for one thing.
Yeah.
Plus, what is Jimbo's motivation to walk away? He's got an $86 million buyout.
No,
worst comes to worst, he just continues to tread water until somebody in College Station decides, let's just write him a check and move on.
Get him in a room, Jimbo. We'll give you 45 right now.
About 86.
And that's the thing is it's guaranteed. There's no he has all the leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Crap. They gave him a boot with a national championship, blank date on there. And look, in 2 or 3 years, that recruiting class becomes something massive. And the next thing you know, you've got, you have turned it around. They're 11-2. They win the SEC West or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen.
It absolutely can happen. It can also not happen. And again, as Jeremy Foley so famously said, what must be done eventually should be done immediately. it's a bad contract.
Okay, yeah, it is. But if you're Texas A&M, just hear this out. If you're Texas A&M,
I bet you one thing. I bet they don't sign another coach to an $86 million buyout.
No, they'll never
if you're
do that.
Texas A&M.
No,
go ahead.
They may not ever deal with Jimmy Sexton again.
You got to deal with Jimmy Sexton at some point.
If you want a good coach, you will. You are Texas A&M. Okay, you just remember who you are as Texas A&M, right? And if you ride this thing out, it's not like you ain't been there before.
I'll counter that, though. You are Texas A&M. You are the only school in Texas currently in the Southeastern Conference, but winter's coming. Do you want to still be riding this out when the Longhorns get here?
I mean, obviously the buyout goes down the longer you wait.
But also, if this turns into 3 years of what you're getting right now, you want to have to recruit against Texas, knowing that you're going to have to play them at some point, and you're not playing from a position of strength if you've still got this going on.
No, you're not wrong, but
I wonder how much that component impacts the thinking in College Station.
I don't know. I just don't know.
That's crazy.
Finally, game day's headed to Jackson State. What does this mean for HBCUs?
You know, I don't know. This is the second time I was able to reach out. You saw me talking probably to Amanda Brooks of ESPN while we were in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. I reached out to her over the weekend and asked if this was if game day had been to an HBCU game or campus. This is the fourth game, the fourth game that ESPN Game Day has been to involving HBCU programs, and it's the second time they've been on an HBCU campus. They went to Tallahassee for Hampton and Florida State back in 2008.
I remember that.
And then in 2005, they were in Houston for Grambling and Southern. And in 2021, they were in Atlanta for North Carolina Central and Alcorn State. So that was last year. So this is the second time they've been on campus. And I guess it's the first time they've done a game involving Jackson State. So,
well, I mean, I feel like this is a little different than those other times.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way around it. Dion has elevated the exposure of SWAC and HBCU football. And
are they SWAC surfing now?
SWAC surfing.
Is that what they're doing?
I like it. It's
different. I think
it's going to be different. I'm interested to see if is it the Sonic Boom? The Sonic Boom of the South, is that Southern's band?
Yes.
And then Jackson State are they the Human Beatbox?
Ooh, Jackson State's band. I think so. They are. No, they're the Sonic Boom.
Oh, okay. Then what is Southern?
That's a good question.
My question is, if those two are anywhere close to the set, it's going to mess with their microphones something fierce. So that's
Southern Youth Marching Band is.
I think I got them flipped.
They are. They're the Human Jukebox.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. You did get them flipped.
Yeah.
But, if you look at this, Ohio State, Penn State. Now, I know it's a Big Ten. That's a Fox game, whatever. But Florida, Georgia, They're typically in Jacksonville for this. Oklahoma State, Kansas State is a ranked matchup. There are options out there. Michigan State. We play on ABC. This was not a consolation because there wasn't
anything else.
Right. And this is what
they made a conscious decision to go to this game.
That's right.
They didn't go here because it was slim pickings otherwise. And that's a great point to make, I think.
And so I think that's why it's a little different this time. I think that's why it's a little bit bigger, and I think it's huge for HBCUs.
Jackson State 7-0 overall, 4-0 in the SWAC. Southern 5-2, 3-1. Besan, Besean, McCray is Bashan. Okay, is the Southern quarterback. He's thrown for 1,304 yards and 12 touchdowns. Obviously, Shadur Sanders, 2,200 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 picks. So it's going to be an entertaining game. Aside from game day being there.
Look, right now, Jackson State's so head and shoulders with Shamar Sanders at quarterback. They're so far head and shoulders above everybody else in the SWAC that I mean, it'll probably be 30 points. I'm telling you, that kid is so good. He would be a game changer for any college at the quarterback position. And he's playing,
including Auburn.
Absolutely Auburn. I mean, this is one of those times where you hire a coach to hope to get his kid kind of thing. I mean, seriously. Anyway, should be fun Saturday.
Absolutely. Might be worth getting up for.
Get up. It's game day. We've got to get to Chip Walters, and we will here in just a second. But instead of going to a break here, Justin, I just want to throw up these Memphis Grizzlies highlights because I just want to talk about how great Ja Morant is. Just throwing this out there because y'all weren't aware. Ja Morant, look, watch this. I mean, just an absolute incredible performer. And Memphis, coming off that huge loss at Dallas, get back home in front of the home crowd. Kevin Durant coming in. Is it Kyrie? Kyrie, who played great. How about Durant right here getting into it a little bit? Watch this. The referee comes over. Now he got a little face-to-face. Come on now. I didn't see anything happen. The referee just kind of walked over, and the coach was over there talking trash. I don't know what happened, but watch that. Oof. Is that not insane? Just slicing and dicing. Here's the play, though. Here's the play that everybody's talking about because he dunked it from behind his head. I even stopped it and put it in slow motion. So, wait, replay. Oh, my God. He was behind. His head was under the goal when he dunked it. Insane. And right there on his way down, gets the rebound on his way down, puts it back up for the putback.
He's pretty special.
When Kevin Durant said that he does things that you don't see on a basketball court, I mean,
it's a nice pass.
It's incredible to watch. Look at that. I mean, that's the play that he won the playoff game with, that left-handed scoop. I mean, from Steph Curry range, knock him down. So anyway, I just want to talk about how special Ja Morant is for just a second. That's all I wanted to say.
He's special.
Kid's incredible. Makes you want to be a Grizzlies fan. All right, we're going to take that break now. Chip Walters awaits. We talk a little Middle Tennessee State athletics right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint, right after this.
So, I got a DUI. Mom, Dad.
Why didn't you just call someone for a ride?
I wasn't thinking ahead. I didn't think I was gonna get caught. Yeah, my best friend Tim.
Still coming to my bachelor party next month?
This DUI cost me 10 grand. So, no. Yeah, you, in the back.
Did you know I almost died when you hit me?
I didn't think this would affect so many people.
You think it was worth it?
No more questions.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton coming to you on this Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 greasy foods coming your way here in just a moment. But before we get to our top 5, we get to Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders. Chip, what's up, man?
Your non-top 5, right? So,
I mean, it's top 5. We had this one time. We did it was like our guilty pleasure foods. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Chip looking all tanned and refreshed.
Yeah, he's tan and refreshed. There's no doubt.
And I'm feeling a little petty actually. But how was it, Chip? How was your week, man?
It was good. It was good. Just like here, there was some chilly temperatures on a couple of mornings down there, but fortunately, I was very blessed and pretty much no rain all week, and some really good days, and had some good seafood, and that's what you do when you go down there.
There you
and
go.
One of those mornings, it was a little too. I think it was probably Tuesday morning before I talked to you guys, where I made a little side trip to Buc-ee's, because it was too cold to do much outside.
Never a bad time to go to Buc-ee's.
Goodness gracious!
Get some
we're getting one in. We're getting one in the borough. Do you know that?
Really?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, good Lord!
That's legit. That's actually happening.
Yeah, it's gonna. They haven't started. It's all all the land has been purchased, and I think they're building one up near Pigeon Forge in Sevierville right now, and it's my understanding that as soon as that one gets completed, they move and start on this one, because there's the one in Athens, Alabama is going to be opening up here in the next couple of weeks. So, yep, there'll be one at
which one's closer to me?
Yeah,
or
Athens. Yeah, that's a good
about
question.
the same distance.
There'll be one. This one in Murfreesboro is going to be at I-24 and Joby Jackson Parkway.
Okay.
Look, I go to I go that way. I go to
War Trace,
840 and then back down 24 to War Trace. This may not be good for me. All that money I make at weddings, I maybe end up spending at Buc-ee's.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I've been twice, and it's just kind of sensory overload, man. It's too much going on for me. I can't hang. But
that
Chip,
being said, you
had a great off weekend. Did the Blue Raiders have a great off weekend?
Well, we'll see, because you hope that they took advantage of it in ways that needed to be taken care of. Number one, talking to Coach Stock last night on his show, the number one thing he said, they've been going since August 1st, basically, 10 weeks, and needed the opportunity to kind of reboot and mentally kind of take a break. Physically, they practiced a couple of times, didn't have a full week of practice, gave them some extra time there. And also I asked him about guys who were injured that he hoped to have back, and they'll know today more after today's practice, if they're able to get it in with the line of storms that's coming through, that they hope DJ England Chisholm is back. He's been out since the Miami game, and that's really limited middle on the outside as far as their receivers are concerned. But the big thing is guys who were, kind of banged up, bruised up, nicked up, that weren't bad enough to be missing games, but bad enough to slow them down, that hopefully a lot of those guys are back. The other thing is they really do a deep dive on themselves as far as a self scout is concerned, and he said last night they really looked at things. How can they get better on third down, which, the easy answer is be better on first and second down, but but also, to try to break your own tendencies, things like that. So that's where the good is out of that. The also you get past the murderer's row portion of your conference schedule. Not that there's any givens in this league, as we saw last weekend. All kinds of craziness took part across the league, and but when you look at just on paper, it appears that it just when you think that it might let up just a little bit. Oh, by the way, 2 of your next 5, your next 2 are on the road. You have to go to make the longest trip you make all year, going to El Paso, and then you turn around and face Louisiana Tech. So, El Paso got a game-winning field goal right at the end of the game to beat FAU at home last week. Louisiana Tech was involved in a 42-41 overtime game with Rice. You had Charlotte getting beat at home and by FIU of all people,
and firing their coach.
And Club Lit is now dark. So there's that, and then you had you had the UAB Western game on Friday night, where UAB is leading the whole game, looking good. Western kicks 2 field goals and find a way to win. So the entertainment level of football in this league is very high, and now you hope that you get into a portion of the schedule that's more manageable. You've got Charlotte left at home. You've got FIU on the road with Mike McIntyre. And then you've got the next 2, as we mentioned, UTEP and Louisiana Tech on the road. And you've also got FAU in a home game there as well, because after these 2 road games, then Middle, for the only time all year, will play back-to-back home games. And that's Charlotte, and which will be a Salute to Veterans game, by the way, which in the next couple of weeks we'll talk about that a little more, about what a special event that is.
UTEP 4-4 overall, 2-2 in the conference. Tech 2-5 overall, 1-2 in the conference. I mean, we talked earlier this season about how the schedule does kind of turn for you after you get through that murderer's row. That certainly helps, I would think, doesn't it?
Well, you would think, but you also look at the league right now, and I think we all have a good feeling of how good UAB is and how good they can be. They're 2-2 in the league because they've had to play at. They have been the team that has probably matched Middle for the toughest conference schedule so far, because they've had to play games at UAB and at Western Kentucky. And so it's, there's no easy draws out there. You're going to have to play everybody where it falls, but it sure, it was tough for Middle because it was so front loaded, and for UAB it was so front loaded. And now you've got UTSA and Western Kentucky at the top of the league right now. They're in good shape, and they've both got the tiebreaker over UAB as far as the championship game. When we really start getting close to that toward the week after Thanksgiving.
Chip Walters, voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris, did you have any other football that you wanted to explore with the voice?
Well, no, because that was kind of my thought process was might be 0-3 now in the conference, but you certainly feel like, getting to even 8 wins is very doable. And then you get to a bowl game and you're riding 5-game win streak potentially into that. And, you could certainly turn this season around without any, without having to panic a little bit, but that's kind of where I was going to go as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, and with all of that, then you got basketball, right?
You do have basketball. you got basketball and you got Murphy Center. I think the women have an exhibition game coming up this weekend. Is that right?
As a matter of fact, they do on Friday night at 6:00. Christian Brothers will be here, and I had a little info on that for let's see, Friday night. Okay, yeah, that will be at 6:00. Christian Brothers. Kids 12 and under, if you show up in your Halloween costume, you get in free. And then next Tuesday night against UT Southern next Tuesday, it's $2 Tuesday with $2 hot dogs, popcorn, drinks, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the men, yeah, and then they'll open up their regular season very shortly after that. The men have gone the route because you can do one of two things. You can either play exhibition games, which the women have chose to do, or you can have the private scrimmages, and that's what the guys have chosen to do over the last several years. And I think Middle had one this past weekend against UT Martin, and they'll have another scrimmage against Austin P coming up this weekend. So it's interesting. Those things used to be so secretive and all that stuff, and you still can't put out results or anything like that, but they've changed the rules now where you can put out photographs and things like that.
Can at least talk about it, huh?
You can talk about it a little bit more, and because I think I saw a picture of Izzo and Barnes because Tennessee and Michigan State had one last weekend, and I saw pictures from our scrimmage against UT Martin. So and I think from what I saw on the on some numbers is that I think Middle was pretty good defensively and also shot the ball really well. So those are two things that obviously will can carry you on pretty good.
That's a nice combination.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I do have a question, Chip. Speaking of basketball.
Yes, sir.
Now, obviously, you have a choice between Miami, Florida, or Quebec, Canada in November. I'm guessing you're choosing the former.
Well, I don't not necessarily have a choice. I mean, we kind of have, as in baseball, we have our unwritten rules in that is I stay with the team till the season's over. So when you look at the overlay, but hey, let me tell you, it's causing. Because of my crusade is going to be not start college basketball till December the 1st. That's going to be my crusade because November is such a pain in the neck that it's as far as overlap on November 12th, 19th, and 26th, we have football and men's basketball games that are all going on at the same time. And also on all three of those dates, there are women's basketball games that are offset just enough to make it all possible. But man, it is a crazy month that we're about to get into, and so we make calls to the bullpen for sure during the month of November.
Yeah, I just figured, between the two options, I figured which one you might go for.
The thing is, I would really like to go to Montreal. I really would.
Like it would
that would be a really good trip. Better than I guess middle of January, but so that'll be three competitive games up there with teams that are pretty similar. I think Middle's playing Hofstra, Stephen F. Austin, and
Montana State.
And Montana State, who, by the way, the Montana State, speaking of that, did you all see the highlights of their football game this weekend? against Weber State.
Oh, Weber State. Okay, no, I did not.
For the long snapper for Weber State, snapped it out of the end zone 4 times on punts. What? Yes.
After the third one, you think they'd have went to somebody else or just went for it?
After the second one, we'd have not only gone with somebody else, but his scholarship would have gone to somebody else as well.
He had the silver sombrero.
Oh,
so
Lord, that's crazy. Chip, as it continues to be the 50th year of Murphy Center, saw a poll yesterday, the all-time best players in Murphy Center among former MTSU women's players.
Correct. And let me tell you, those have been, to limit those to 15, man, I think there's like 40 on the list. And I think just to limit the list to 40 is hard. I mean, I can think of, folks who might be vote worthy on both of those polls. And, the first thing I did when I put my vote in on the women's poll that came out yesterday, I think yesterday or day before, you can vote on it up through Wednesday, is I just went through and I marked all the Hall of Famers first, all the ones who'd made the Hall of Fame. And I think I was at 9 or 10 at that point. Yeah. And then from there, added in, the Holly Hoovers or whoever at that point to finish out my list. But, we've already had men's, the top Blue Raiders. We've had the poll for the top visiting opponents. So there's that's for the men. You've had the women's poll is out there now. You're going to have top women's opponents. You're also going to have a standalone poll for the NCAA tournament that was held at Murphy Center.
Oh, okay.
And then
that will appease a number of people.
Yeah, and a lot of people who were pulling their hamstrings, jumping to conclusions. But I digress. But then you're also going to have, I think, Matthew Gillespie is going to be kind of coordinating a poll or a list. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, of the top boys and girls high school players to ever play in the building.
Good luck.
That's going to be a couple of incredible lists right there.
It really is. On this Blue Raider women's list, I just wanted to be sure and give a shout out, since we are operating from Muletown, to make sure that everybody's aware that Jennifer McFall is on that list.
Yep, my classmate Jennifer McFall, and she, gosh, what a player she was in high school and college. And
I never saw her in high school, but I sure saw her at MTSU, and she didn't take a back seat to anybody, man.
No, and when you put her out there with Kim Webb, and you talk about a great inside outside punch along with Holly Hoover, that was, that was 3 pretty good ones to start your lineup with right there.
That was a fun team to watch.
Yes, it was. And they could, that group, there's a lot of those 1980s women's teams in particular that would stand up well today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their style of play and their talent both. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I think that's kind of where I really gained my respect for women's basketball, was watching some of those MTSU teams and some of those teams that came in to Murphy Center to play against them. I'm interested to see what the opposing players list looks like when it comes out here soon. So.
Yeah, that's going to be, you think about all of the really good teams, in particular in the last 15 years since Coach Ensel's been there. They brought in Maryland when they were number 1 in the country. You've had Louisville in numerous times, lots of different teams from around the Southeastern Conference. So that'll be a good list also.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to all these lists. I've just been looking through the other, through this thing, and I'm not voting because I don't know enough to vote. But when you don't have a whole lot of, MTSU knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at that list and you go, oh wow.
Exactly.
Didn't realize. And then you just kind of go, okay.
And I think that's what, for a lot of folks, even around here, it kind of brings, time kind of, things start to kind of get away, but it's kind of brought a lot of the past back. With concerts, there's going to be lists of concerts and all that kind of stuff. And be on the lookout as far as this 50th anniversary, be on the lookout for a big announcement here in the next week or two about something big that's going to be happening during this celebration. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's something that you'll like, Mo, up on the track at Murphy Center. There's on the backs of the bleachers, they've got these really cool graphics of events that took place during certain time periods, and it follows around, and it's not only basketball but concerts, track and field, all that kind of things that have gone on in that building.
That sounds really, really cool. I think a lot of people would enjoy that, and hopefully a lot of people are able to get back to Murphy Center this year and check out, the improvements and all of this stuff that's going on around the 50-year anniversary. Chip Walters, voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as he does every Tuesday, whether he's on the beach or not.
We appreciate that.
Chip, we really appreciate your time, and look forward to catching up with you, hopefully after a successful trip to El Paso, Texas this weekend.
Sun Bowl.
Yeah, that's one of the great venues in our league, and look forward to that. It's always it's one of my favorite. It's the longest trip, but it's one of my favorite trips to go out there because of the people. They're really super nice, very hospitable. And the Sun Bowl is terrific. Great food. So out in the West Texas town of El Paso, we'll be out there on Friday night.
Will you be falling in love with any Mexican girls?
Well, time will tell. We'll see.
Take care
there is a Rose's Cantina still out there, though. And I don't think it's the actual one from the song, but there is one called that.
Take care of your engineer while you're out there.
We'll do that.
I choose to believe that it is the same Rose's Cantina. I refuse to believe otherwise. So, Chip, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
All right. See you guys.
Take care. When we come back, Top 5 Tuesday right here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It's time for Top 5 Tuesday. Brought to you by our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness. Top 5 Tuesday is brought to you by Steel Athletes, steelathletes.com, at Steel Athletes on Instagram, Dallas Steel and the gang. It's STEEL, athletes.com. So glad to have their support. Visit them at one of their great locations, one here in Columbia, the other in Franklin. Mo, it looks like that line of storms is pushing on through, although I was so excited because Columbia made the AccuWeather map. Oh, that was pretty interesting. But yeah, it looks like this line of storms may be the last that we see for right now. So I'm hoping that by the time we get done with these greasy foods, we'll be able to go get some greasy food without it being rainy.
I like the sound of that, particularly the latter.
Yeah,
but the former is pretty good idea as well.
No doubt. Yeah. It is National Greasy Food Day, Justin, and you gotta love that. So
absolutely,
that prompted today's top 5.
It's a wonderful picture.
It is, right? So let's kick it off. What are the top 5 greasy foods? I will start in my number 5. I'm going to go with cheese curds.
Ooh, nice.
That is nice. And I even as I share a home with someone from Wisconsin, I neglected to come up with cheese curds, and I'm almost scared to go home after that. But,
you better insert it a little higher than 5, I guess.
Yeah. My number 5, they're greasy, they're messy, but you can't go to a carnival or a fair and not get one. Funnel cake.
Funnel cake is a good one. Number 5, Justin?
Justin, do you have a number 5? Do you have a list?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to go with a classic. Number 5 for me is going to be just fried chicken. The only reason it's 5 and not higher up in the list is because it's kind of difficult to eat. As in, like, the bones. I'm looking at your face right now.
Okay, so, like, if it's got a bone in it, you kind of got to work around it. Okay, I can see
for
that.
the most, yeah. You know.
I find no difficulty eating
none.
Fried chicken.
None. Absolutely no difficulty.
Zero difficulty for me.
Bang. Yeah, I mean, when I'm talking difficulty in eating something, I'm thinking, crab legs or something like that.
Right.
But no, fried chicken, no.
Well, just comparable. It's number 5 though.
My number 4 is going to be like Chinese takeout, like beef and broccoli, or like a sesame chicken kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty greasy, not super greasy, but like beef and broccoli, you can kind of get it gets a little weird. But yeah, so beef and broccoli, number 4.
My number 4, Justin will love this, chicken wings.
Yes.
I mean, if they're fried. Now, I mean, if they're smoked, they're not as greasy.
Right.
But yeah, fried chicken wings.
The brother or sister of the fried chicken.
Exactly. Your number 4, Justin?
Number 4 is a nice greasy taco. I'm talking some Taco Bell ground beef.
Yeah. I love some greasy taco, especially after a long night of partaking,
of imbibing. Yes.
Either that or cookout, something like that. But
man, cookout is underrated.
It is.
It really is.
I wish I had one down here.
Yeah.
I'd slay some cookout.
Meals.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'll take cookout any time of day.
Anytime.
I love it. Give me a cookout tray.
We hit one in Meridian, Mississippi, coming back from New Orleans. I mean, it's good and it's cheap.
That's right.
You can't beat it. So yeah.
My number 3, mac and cheese. I like cheese. I don't know. I like cheese. Cheese is very greasy for me today.
There's nothing wrong with cheese.
I'm all on the cheese, but mac and cheese, yeah.
Fried mac and cheese in particular.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my number 3.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
The fair thing kind of gave me that idea. Mo, I know you're talking about funnel cake. I'm gonna go with the fried Oreos, man. I mean, just grease them up. Cinnamon.
Fried Oreos from Jack Brown's.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
By First Horizon.
Okay.
Solid.
Nice.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2. Give me a specific, but Donut Country Donuts.
Specifically donuts. Yeah. That's my honorable mention.
Yeah.
But I did not have a specific.
It'd have to be. I mean, I like, but that's a number 2. Donuts as an honorable mention as a whole, yes. But a Donut Country donut,
very irritated when I went through Donut Country on Memorial on my way to Siegel the other morning. At 9:15, they were already out of cinnamon twists.
Gee, you've been there twice now. Got no cinnamon twists.
Yeah, and there may not be a third time.
You need to call ahead.
Well, that's what they said. If you call ahead, we can save them for you. I'm thinking it's 9 o'clock. How are you already out?
Because everybody loves
they go
them.
pretty well. Maybe you should make more.
Right.
Maybe. I'm just saying, everybody loves them.
Got to give the people what they want.
That's exactly. My number 2, fried cheesecake.
Solid.
I do love a fried cheesecake.
I'm gonna go with my number 2, a number 4 from McDonald's, double quarter pounder with
quarter pounder.
Yeah, with all the fixins.
Do you like everything? See, yeah. I mean, I don't get anything extra on there, and I don't take anything off. Like I just eat it as is. But
yeah. But with all the fixins, I meant just leaving it kind of how it is, but also got to get side of ranch. That's for sure.
Ranch, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. You do you. It's interesting. I've never thought about eating that with ranch.
Your number 1.
My number 1 is Five Guys Burger. Give me a Five Guys Burger and some Cajun fries.
18 million fries.
18 million Cajun fries.
And no matter how many people go to Five Guys, you can get one order of fries and be fine.
You're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My number 1, bacon.
Bacon. Just
classic.
Just bacon.
Just bacon.
We talked about that this morning. I actually said that bacon was my favorite greasy food, but the reason I didn't list it is because to me, bacon is it's what I told you this morning, Justin. It's like the ranch dressing on top of the salad. It's what makes other things edible. And I will air fry Brussels sprouts and throw like 4 or 5 pieces of bacon in there with some brown sugar. And that's the only way I can eat Brussels sprouts. But you take a bite of that Brussels sprout, then a bite of that brown sugar glazed bacon, and it's just outside this world.
I'm going to take your word for it.
I feel you there.
Yeah.
Even Sarah will eat them, and that's impressive. Number 1, Justin.
My number 1 is just a nice so there's a place in Lebanon called Gondola's Pizza, and it comes with just a bunch of grease on it.
I need a pepperoni. I need a pepperoni pizza with
extra grease.
With extra grease.
Extra grease.
Just bring the grease thing out here, the grease pit.
Wow. Well, there you have it.
That's it. Top 5. Look at there. Pizza, Five Guys Burger, and
now your Five Guys Burger would have bacon on it, I'm sure.
It can.
Not necessarily. It doesn't have to.
It doesn't matter. Just the burger in general. I do like I like it. I like their bacon, but it's to me, a Five Guys burger is just the perfect greasy burger. That's just me. So bacon, burger, pizza. Those are. I mean, that's pretty well. I mean, to me, that seems like a pretty solid trio there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You could put bacon on a burger, bacon on a pizza, put pizza on a burger. I don't know. We could try it. I've done it.
Why not?
I've never done it. Hey, just put a burger in between 2 slices of pizza and go to town.
With ranch.
With bacon. I don't know.
That's
that sounds like something that that you could buy at Truist Park because they got all those ridiculous menu items.
And now, what if you deep fried it?
And then you deep fry it? Hell yeah, I'm here for it. Let's do it.
The pizza burger,
The
deep
pizza
fried
burger.
pizza burger. Yeah. Let's get on that.
Oh man. Well, thanks for tuning in on this Top 5 Tuesday. Thanks to Chip Walters and all of you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow at 2:00 right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll have Heather Williams at 2:15. So come back, talk a little NASCAR as they get ready for the championship race. Should be fun. So we'll be back. Plenty of stuff to get to. Matter of fact, tomorrow I would like to talk about the 6 days between Alabama and UT Martin at Neyland Stadium and how in the world did they get that to look so nice on Saturday? So great story about that, and we want to get to that. So all of that and more coming up tomorrow. If you want to watch us, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Roku, Apple products, and Fire TV, just download the Main Street Media app. We'd love to have you. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts as well. For Justin, back, I guess. Are you still at the beautiful Omni Hotel?
I am at the beautiful Omni. I sure am.
Awesome.
Well, say hello to the folks there for us, and we will see you tomorrow.